we're doing a Tesla full self-driving version 12.5 do you know what's after the 0.5 on this one?
This is 12.5.1.3. Or it could be the other way around. It could be 0.3.1. Oh, geez, it's a topsy-turvy world.
I feel like the first one was correct, but yeah. So
there's a 3 and a 1 in there.
For me, like,
does it say?
It's the 10th, the digit in the 10th place that is the key. I mean, I know some people
software
are really eager to.
Okay, 12.5.1.3.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
Say it with me, kids. All right. So it's gonna bust a U right here.
So it wants to do a U-turn here. Oh, it's actually gonna do it. Wow. I thought it would just abandon that. That's interesting.
Oh, ye of little faith, Zachariah. We're dealing with 12.5.3.1.6.9.9.6, baby.
Yeah.
After a couple decibels, my brain just starts picking numbers. But
so we are going to some areas we haven't driven before with any of the full self-driving versions. We'll do a retest of like that really key difficult area by the interstate one day, but today we wanted to try to explore some new areas, so that's what we're doing. And David, you've had this, well, it's a brand new Tesla Model 3 Performance. Do you want to just give a little update on the new vehicle, what stood out to you, and also the 12.5 version of full self-driving as you've used it so far compared to previous versions?
Sure. A brief overview in this car is the seats are amazing. Not only do they finally have ventilated seats, these performance seats are just incredible. Yeah, you have to experience them firsthand. It's hard to describe a seat, but it's a very great seat.
I think in the back here they hug you a little more. Like the back seats in my Model 3 from 2019 are a little bit flat.
Correct. Yeah, there's a little more bolstering.
Yeah, it's all around. It's hard for an adult to like sit back there comfortably, especially on corners, and this just feels like it hugs you a little more.
Oh, there's an EV9 about to cross.
Oh, yeah.
That's fun to see. So we're creeping up here. It's giving a little look. So the setting I have, just talk about the settings for FSD. I have it on, what do they call it? Average. I put it on shoulder. I have it on average. I have the speed offset set to 20% over, because I find that that's what mostly people do. It's about 20% over the speed limit. If it's less than that, you tend to be run off the road, at least in this area in Florida. Yeah,
this area, unfortunately, there's a lot of places where it's commonly 15 over, but that's not really, even if that's the flow of traffic, like, it's not smart to drive that much over, because, I mean, aside from everything else, the cops will get you, give you a ticket. People get tickets here all the time.
This road, people rip through here.
This road and a parallel road, people get tickets every day. But I think if you're like, 10 or 8, 9, that's like within the flow of traffic enough. And
2 or 3 local cops have told me this little rhyme they have. I've said it before, haven't I?
Well, I've told people about it since. If it's the same one, I've told people about it for the past 20 years.
Is it under 9 you're fine?
Yeah, under 9 you're fine.
Over 9 you're mine.
Oh,
that's what the cops say.
Under. Yeah, so it's a very similar one. Yeah.
So basically 9 miles an hour. And that's what I usually do. For here, serendipitously, 20% over 45 is 9 miles over. Yeah, that's just a serendipitous coincidence.
So any standout improvements on 12.5 from 12.3? Did you have 12.4 or did you just jump from 12?
It just jumped, if I recall.
Yeah.
Just smoother. There's a little debris, got littering, good for you.
But like 12.3 was already like, I mean,
really good.
You would go on a 20-minute
I wouldn't just be
drive.
Cruising this guy's blind spot.
Yes.
That's kind of, if me as a human, I would say, well, let me pick either get out of that. Well, it is kind of, I guess, gradually. Also a lot of space here. I know I have it set on like the standard setting, not on the assertive. When I'm by myself, I usually do assertive just because I'm used to, I don't get up on people, but people tend to be more assertive too. That tends to be the natural way people drive. Here's a cop right here. Unmarked. But I thought this would kind of be like what a Robotaxi setting would probably be.
Yeah.
You know, where it's not super chill, but at the same time it's not whipping around. So I figured right in the middle would be a good scientific.
You've never ridden a Waymo, have you?
No, I haven't. I've seen a ton when I go out to Austin and stuff. I'd see tons of Waymo. I'd see
cruises, a lot of
cruises in Austin. Used to. I know they had put a kibosh on it.
I haven't, but my sisters and my mom recently.
Cybertruck.
And yeah, there was a Cybertruck.
They're still novel. I am that. My daughter and I are the obnoxious people that were like teenagers seeing the Beatles on Ed Sullivan. We're like, wow, Cybertruck. Still. We probably see about one every day now, I'd say.
Our friend Dan just sent me a short video on social media of a Cybertruck, I think in Austin, Texas. It's a handyman company Cybertruck, and he had a washing machine in the back.
I just saw that before I came over to your place.
Actually in operation. I was like, oh my gosh, this is hilarious.
So this is interesting. This is a 2-lane left turn. So we should technically get in the right left turn lane, which we're doing.
Yeah.
And we'll have pole position at the light, it looks like here.
Yeah.
And then we'll make an immediate right.
Yeah, there's a gas station here, Wawa, and then right after is a Starbucks. So it's a pretty tricky, quick right turn after a big intersection. So we're gonna see how it handles it. David, be on high alert in case something goes wrong. And yeah, we'll see.
Note that I have not interacted with the vehicle from a moving it forward standpoint or piloting standpoint.
I saw you driving
since you got there. I love a parade. I'll do this the whole time to prove that this absolutely. Well, you should see the shot. Should see my beautiful legs, beautiful arms.
I'm not zoomed into your legs.
Oh well, you're missing
Sorry,
out.
But,
you're missing out, audience. Sorry about that.
We have the wheel in full view and the.
Well, you should have told me. I would have flexed.
Have your hands in view. That doesn't help.
Smells terrific.
But I mean, are you really able to see a difference? Because 12.3, you could already drive like for half an hour without an intervention.
Correct.
Does it somehow still feel smoother to you? Really?
Yeah, it is that kind of. Because still with 12.3, there were those. It was smooth, but there was still those kind of maybe it would brake. There's like these nuanced things, like it would either brake, it would slow down too early rolling up to an intersection,
right,
or it would just kind of wait too long and then kind of lean on it where you're kind of like, slow down, okay, we're slowing down. So it kind of it smoothed that out a bit. Turning, same thing. It's not as robotic, it's more fluid. Lane changes are more fluid, particularly dynamic lane changes, like if there's like a person double parked or something, and there's some opposing traffic, it'll make that decision to wait or like, oh, go around, there's more enough time. And it does that in a very fluid way. We see this is a perfect example. Okay, so we're going now. We're going to turn left, and then we're going to immediately turn right. And look at this. It's kind of a thing here.
Yeah, I don't even remember what the entrance here is like.
Here it's going to...
it's not a difficult entrance, but it is right after a
But then look at, there's kind of this, I don't want to call it a chicane, but there's immediate turns.
This is smoother than a human would do it.
Yeah. This is like if you're taking a nice like limo ride, and then should do an immediate...
Yeah, I asked about Waymo because my sisters and mom were so impressed with how smooth and relaxing it was as a passenger.
And then is it going to turn? Okay, and then it'll turn in here.
I'm curious how much this feels like that as well. Like how much they're similar, because I feel like that as well. Like this is... Like it's just kind of... No offense to you, but any other human doing that quick turn to the Starbucks, I feel like it would be jerkier than this.
Yeah. And so we're basically here.
Yeah, we're going to stop. I'll have to figure out where we're going next.
Bentayga.
All right, we found another destination to go to for more exploration. We're gonna particularly go to an intersection that when we first got full self-driving, we like a couple years. How long ago was it? A couple years? 3 years?
Look at this too. It's kind of, we have a lot of cars coming across the traffic at the stop sign.
Was that 3 years ago that we got it, or 2?
Oh wow, I don't know.
I
have no concept of time. Look at how there's like every person in the county is driving to this back road all of a sudden.
I would say like as a human you would just go out here, but it's tight.
Interesting, look at that. It deviated from the nav. I guess it just felt like, oh, we'll just do this.
Oh yeah, interesting.
That's interesting because you think the nav would have been the gospel truth.
Yeah.
And it didn't.
That has seemed to be the issue. One of the main lingering issues is where it doesn't follow the nav for like turns or something.
Yeah.
But in this case, it was just smarter to go out to the right.
Now here, another thing, if you noticed, we had about two stop signs there. And no, we had a lot of cross traffic, obviously, that first stop sign. But that second stop sign, you notice, it will still come to a complete stop, which only like 1 or 2% of the actual driving population does. But because the NHTSA thing, they're making the cars come to a stop. But it does it shorter. Because before you'd be like, okay, let's go. And now it goes stop, okay, let's go.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't notice. I didn't notice there was a stop sign, so I didn't even notice it happened. Yeah. It was just a natural like pull out like a human would make.
Correct.
So that's a huge improvement if I didn't even realize that it went through a stop sign.
Because it would stop and kind of like, you'd be like, go, go, go. Yeah. Now it'll honor the stop, so it officially stopped, but it'll go stop, okay, I'm going to go.
No, it was far too slow dealing with those. I mean,
Yeah.
So that's really, I'm impressed that they made it natural, because I didn't think they could make it natural with the rule to fully stop,
Yeah.
Because it's just people don't.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, so I think they found this kind of sweet spot. There's always room for improvement, of course, but they're like, okay, we stopped. Are you happy, regulators? It technically was at 0 miles per hour at one point, even if that's for a half second, and then let's go. Now it kind of waits like a second or two, which not a lot of human drivers would do, but oh sweet, that was an Alfa Romeo.
So now we're in a lane that has to merge.
It's going to merge.
Oh, here. This is great feature because...
Great, it's very assertive.
Yeah, you can be stuck there if you don't realize you have to merge, and you take too long, and then there's cars passing you by on the left, so then you have to basically stop instead of merge until they're all through. So I don't know if the car realized I need to get ahead of this car next to me, or if that's just how it accelerated naturally.
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
But it did solve that issue perfectly again.
Yeah, nice smooth merge.
This is impressive.
And it's interesting. It'll do like it's set for a 20% offset, as I said before. It says 54, but it's doing 50. It's like, you know what? I'm just gonna do.
Yeah, that's interesting. Why is it? Because of the curves?
I think that has something to do with it. And I think if somebody comes up from you from behind, there's like kind of a push. So this car's coming up behind, it's like, okay, I'll do 51.
But otherwise, the curves of the road, the architecture of the road, engineering of the road makes it think, oh, I shouldn't go too fast here.
Correct. I think I have noticed a correlation between the contours of the road and there's a cop right there, so it's probably a good idea to be doing 6 over instead of something like 9 or 10 over.
Yeah.
But I've noticed the contours of the road definitely influence its speed, whether it goes the full threshold of the setting or if it pulls back. Particularly my neighborhood has a lot of curves, which is very unusual for Florida, but it'll say, you know what, I'm not going to do the full setting.
I thought we were going to have nothing to talk about on this drive because it would just be so good. And it is so good, but we still have a lot of stuff to talk about. But yeah, there have been no issues yet. To me, as a backseat, like basically a Robotaxi passenger, I don't think I would expect that this outperformed what any human taxi driver would probably drive like.
Oh yeah, they're not great.
It's been so smooth and
yeah, you could have taken a Robotaxi to Starbucks in this hypothetical.
Yeah.
And it would have been fun.
It just would have happened.
Yeah. Right now. Today.
So that's pretty
2024.
Wow. This is the first I feel like it's arrived. Because we've tested before, we have videos where it's like, wow, it went 40 minutes without intervention or something. But there were concerns. They were like, oh, this makes me nervous.
Yeah, it'd do like kind of wacky things.
This is the first drive where I'm like, I feel like I'm being driven by a professional chauffeur in driving royalty around Abu Dhabi or something. Like really nice professional, chauffeur driving.
Considerate driver.
So that's impressive. But yeah, so we were going to talk about some other issues. was curious to get your opinion, or just talk with you about the coming Tesla Model Y Juniper, which has been spotted like undercover testing, and the really trimmed down bare bones Model 3 that's being for the Mexico market to really lower the price on that. Any overarching thoughts, big thoughts on those developments?
Well, the Juniper, I mean, if they apply, that's another weird thing. Like the
AI of the windshield wipers is
so
still
funny.
like the worst feature.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So funny. If the Juniper, the Juniper variant of the codename Juniper of Model Y, the assumption is they're going to apply the improvements from the Highland Model 3 to the Model Y, so more refined suspension, more comfortable seats, more upgraded interior, rear media screen, touchscreen, all of these things.
There's some rumbling that maybe it would be more of an update, because I've seen discussion of this. I haven't seen any real confirmation, but like that the Model 3 upgrade didn't do as well in China as Tesla wanted, and so they feel like they need to do more with the Model Y upgrade. Cool. But I don't have any confirmation. I don't know if that's just a rumor or speculation. But have you thought about that or seen anything about that?
Well, I think there's a lot to be said there, where it will incorporate the learnings and the benefits of Highland and extrapolate from that, or riff off that. So yeah, there'll be even more. So I've heard, again, this completely rumor, but like 100 kilowatt hour pack. So to bring the range up around 400 miles, up from the pack size now, which I think is, what is it, around 80 kilowatt hours, 70 kilowatt hours usable. So things like that.
I don't know what other bells and whistles I would expect. Like, there are these. We were going to maybe talk about the Chinese EV market and how crazy competitive and exciting it is, but some, these EV startups roll out new models continuously, and they sometimes have, significant cool features that Teslas don't have.
Yeah.
But I can't think of anything else Tesla would put in to up the features.
Yeah, I mean, as far as features, I think as far as Tesla goes, it's all about making it quieter, smoother, better build quality, good sound system, things like that. Because the killer app, wow, what a slick lane change that was. I mean, the killer app is full self-driving. Once that goes global, I mean, this feature.
You haven't. I should say we've been driving for 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, suburban environment.
And you haven't had to do one intervention. Haven't even thought about one, have you?
No. It's okay, so we're coming up. See this?
This is
for years, full self-driving would take a massive dump here. It just didn't know what this lane was.
I remember going here like right after I got full self-driving and expecting it to be better than it was because of how much hype I saw online about it. And so I was just like, okay,
right here, it would take a dump. It would not know. It'd be like, it'd take this lined lane that's not a lane. It would like plow through that.
I was not even talking about that. Like, it would get here.
But
then on the turn, you see there's multiple lanes that are gonna go.
Yeah.
Going that way, and multiple lanes going the other way. It would try to turn left before the median here, where that car is parked at the red light.
Yeah.
It would try to turn into that lane.
Yeah,
to
like
go
wrong
left.
way.
And it freaked me out the first time it did that, of course. And then I tried it other times, and it did the same thing. And I just was like, I'm not trying this again until it gets way better. Because
when it finally got into this lane, what it would do for the longest time, it'd make the left turn. Let's see if I could zoom in. Let's see. And it would go toward the median, and then it would like turn left, and then it would turn right, and then turn left.
Yeah.
Which, of course, if someone's behind you, they're like, "What is this? What drugs is this guy on?" You know,
if it was doing well that day.
Oh, correct. Yeah,
because it could try to go into that, like think it's going to turn left into that.
Yeah.
Into the
like
wrong direction.
Like it wouldn't go past the boulevard.
Which I have a friend who did that once in college when we were leaving from the cinema in the middle of the night.
Oh, it happens all the time.
Downtown, and it's similar kind of situation. He just turned, and then realized he had turned before the median.
Yeah,
and was going the wrong way. Had to speed up and get cross lanes at the next opening. But that's basically what it was doing. And or like you said, it would just not go far enough, and would go toward the median, and then have to
turn right,
like real suddenly and awkward. And of course, with cars behind you, that's a definite
Oh yeah, the car
accident.
behind you is like,
or at least
that person's drunk or something. I mean,
Yeah, you get some serious.
Because again,
so
did it break the law? No, it technically didn't. But the trick of all of this is not only do you have to obey the rules of the road, but you have to drive it. The car has to be driven in a way that other drivers are expecting it to move.
Yeah. So you said it nails this now. We're going to see. But in the meantime, why are the lights purple on your screen? Is that because of the accent lighting you have? Are they?
Oh, I don't know. Which lights? This?
Yeah, were those red for you? Because they look purple from back here.
Oh, I don't know. I saw it as red.
Here we go.
Yeah.
You see, that's funny because right there it just crossed the yellow line that you're not supposed to cross.
Yeah.
So instead of freaking out, it can see on the road like where it should turn, I guess. And in the past, it would freak out and like try to avoid that yellow line, I guess. And now it's just like, we'll just cross it.
Well, right now, and then we'll go.
So it's going to take us to this
car wash here.
This car wash.
And again, super, super smooth. Again, I would avoid personally going over a yellow line, but it's interesting that it knows that it shouldn't cross it, but it overrode that for that moment, maybe in the name of a smooth art.
Obviously, ideally, you just avoid, but it happens all the time where it's like the turn, that turn is a bit inconvenient to make properly. It gets too sharp of a turn then. I mean, it would be fine to do it correctly, but it's also, in my opinion, fine and quite common that you just cross that line. I mean, there's no reason you really don't. It's a problem to do so.
Rivian delivery.
Yeah, we got a
Yeah,
Rivian.
we can see them every day now. That's so great.
Yeah, you see these Amazon Rivian. Amazon Rivian trucks all over with the very identifiable headlights.
My daughter freaks out when she sees those too. She's like, Rivian. Drivers are like, what is this little kid doing? She like hangs out the window.
So I mean, we're basically at the finished test driving now. I don't know if we'll do another leg. We'll get into the car wash here. See how it does arriving.
Now this car wash has a huge drainage dip going into it, so I'll have to see how hot it's going. It's interesting. Does it even have it pulling in? It just kind of has it going there. So
I think it's interesting that it has like traffic, like red and orange here. Because
I wonder if it's because all these cars are parked right here, so it's just reading cars just sitting there.
That's what I was figuring. It's sort of funny though.
All right, so here we go.
All right.
So it has this right turn signal in. Now there's a huge bump right here, and maybe it's slowing down just because this guy.
Oh my, this is really. Oh my.
So I'm never gonna
enter that with my Model 3.
I'm going to do like a little U-turn.
Have you made?
Actually, I'm gonna back out.
Have you entered there with your old Model 3?
Yeah.
What's the difference in the bumpiness?
Well, this obviously the suspension is more refined, but I have to say, there's a lyric right there to the left.
Oh, yeah,
that's fun. Okay. Sorry. There is.
You're like me, David. I do this all day long.
What's that?
Everywhere I go, I point out EVs to my family.
Oh my God, yes.
Who mostly does not care.
You gotta celebrate. Yeah, my wife's like, I don't really care. Right? My daughter loves it though. She'll be like, lyric. There's a lyric. Do you want an acceleration demo of the new?